Hey guys, in this episode, I'm going to show you why the Sensei 310 from Steelseries is my favorite mouse. So if you don't know who Steelseries is, they are a company who focuses on making peripherals. So they make gaming keyboards, they make gaming mouses, headsets for PC and console. Now, this is their specialty. This is what they focus on. That's why they're so good at making peripherals. I've been using the Sensei Raw Edition mouse for many years, and that was my favorite mouse. But now, the Sensei 310 is even better. The scroll button is smoother, the texture and the finish it feels better. One thing I like about this mouse is that it maintains that minimalistic design and keeps only what is essential to performance. So without further ado, let's take a look at the specs. It stands about 3.9 centimeters tall, roughly 6.5 centimeters wide, 12.5 centimeters in length. It weighs in at around 95 grams, although according to the website, it's 92 grams, but that could just be a tiny offset in my scale. The Sensei 310 is an ambidextrous mouse built with a fiber reinforced plastic body so it can be durable and lightweight. The USB cable is 2 meters long and it's rubberized. Now, personally, I'm a fan of braided cables, so I wish they had done that instead, but hopefully we can see that in future models. Aside from that, I like how this mouse has a very minimalistic design and only having what is essential. It's got 8 customizable buttons, rubberized wheel for no-slip scrolling, fingerprint-resistant matte finish, and a pure silicone grip on both sides for long-lasting use that essentially doesn't wear out no matter how hard you clench your mouse. Now, I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to buy a new mouse simply because the paint on the mouse was wearing down from my claw grip, and I think the claw grip actually tears down the paint a lot faster. I really like preserving the aesthetics of my tech, and I'm sure most of you out there can agree with me. And if you ask me, I don't just think this is a smart design with a grip. I think it's a necessary design for most mice. The only examples that I can think of where this wouldn't be applicable is MMO mouses, or mice, where they have the number pads on the side, like the Razer Naga or the Corsair Scimitar. Now, the next two things I want to talk about is the sensor and something called the split trigger switches. The sensor uses the Steelseries TrueMove 3 optical sensor and has a CPI range from 100 to 12,000. They also have a true 1-to-1 tracking from 100 to 3500 CPI. Now, what that means is as long as your CPI is 3500 or below, the tracking is more accurate, whereas the exact distance your mouse moves on the mousepad is the exact distance your cursor moves on the screen. And then there's something called split trigger switches. Now, in most mice designs, the entire body of the mouse is made out of one piece of plastic. But what Steelseries did is they took the part that is resting under your palms and the clicks, the primary click buttons, as separate pieces of plastic. Now what this does is it provides, or it's supposed to provide, a higher rate of consistency when it comes to using your mouse. For example, if you're playing a first-person shooter, a lot of people will have their moments where like they die from lag, or because they misclicked or something like that, or like my shots didn't register, stuff like that. This is supposed to reduce that.
Oh man! God, you guys! Oh yeah, you fucking like that, you motherfucker! Fucking goddamn lag!
Alright, so let's jump into the software side of things. At the time of making this video, the current Steelseries software is called Engine 3, and it's what you would use to customize and program all of your Steelseries settings and devices. If you open up the Steelseries Engine 3 software, you'll see 3 tabs on top. The first tab is a list of your Steelseries gear or devices that you have connected. Right now, the Sensei 310 is my only Steelseries device, so that's the only thing that's displayed. The second tab is labeled Engine Apps. This is where all your different apps, programs, and certain games that can interact directly with your Steelseries devices. Then you have your library, which is a list of games and applications that you personally have installed on your computer, and when the Engine 3 detects a selected compatible application or game that's being ran, it will automatically change and optimize the settings on your SteelSeries devices to create the best experience for you. Now, this feature wasn't something that I personally use or need, so I just left it alone and I didn't add anything to my list. So let's go into the Sensei 310 controls. On the left side, you can customize and reprogram all your buttons. Now, since I'm right-handed, I deactivated my B6 and B7 buttons so I don't accidentally click a function that I don't normally use. Over here in the middle, you can customize your RGB settings on the scroll wheel and the SteelSeries logo. Now, there's a few different effects you can play with, but I currently have mine set as a steady white glow just for the sake of my desktop theme. For your sensitivity, you have two CPI settings you can toggle between using the CPI button located below the scroll wheel. I have my low end set to 800 and my high set to 1000, depending on what game I'm playing or type of work I'm doing. Then on the far right here we have acceleration and deceleration, if you use those, but I personally don't, so I just leave mine at 0. Okay, angle snapping. Have you ever tried to draw a straight line freehanded with just your mouse? It's pretty hard, right? Your hand shakes and jitters and all that jazz. Now, angle snapping will automatically snap your mouse cursor into the linear pattern you are trying to draw along. The higher you jack up the setting, the more strict and quicker it will snap into that line. Now, this feature was put in to assist people with a steadier crosshair for first-person shooters. So basically, if you're a noob and you suck at aiming, these are training wheels for you. Polling rate. This has to do with how frequently your cursor is updated on the screen in terms of where it is. The higher the hertz, the faster the speed. I leave it at 1000 hertz for a 1 millisecond response time. Okay, so my final thoughts on this mouse. Besides everything that I just mentioned in this video, I would like to see braided cables in the next model, and perhaps maybe some kind of solution for the clicks, because I know this part will eventually wear out as well. Or maybe SteelSeries can make the buttons replaceable and sell those pieces separately, like grips. And yeah, my idea was perhaps throw a skin on it, and I was hoping that D-Brand would make customized skins for specific mouses, but I know that's a lot of products to request from them. They don't have it, and maybe SteelSeries might be open to, making their own skins for their own products. I think that would be really nice. Alright, so that's it for this episode. Now, last thing is, in the comments below, I want you guys to tell me what your favorite mouse is and why. Now, if you plan on picking up the Sensei 310, I highly recommend you guys to buy from their website directly, because when you pick up the Sensei 310, you also get a free SteelSeries Quick Precision mouse pad. And at the time of making this video, the mouse is going for 60 bucks, 60 US dollars, and I will have the link to that website in my description. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to my channel for more content like this. I also have social media links in my description, so feel free to check that out. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.